All right, I got the okay, the double thumbs up, so we are good. Good morning. My name is Bob Beeman. I am the Senior Vice President of Palo Verde. I welcome you here to the Energy Education Center. When we built this back in 2011, this was part of our vision that the leaders of our communities were going to meet here and help move our communities forward with long-range planning. So this absolutely fits it, and so thank you all for being here. First, I'd like to introduce Reverend Ariz Woodcox, pastor of the First Southern Baptist Church here in Buckeye, to do the invocation. Artie?
Would you bow with me, please? Good and gracious God, I'm grateful for the opportunity to be here with these people from this community. And I'm exceptionally grateful, Lord, that we have leaders in this community that know you and that want to do it your way. I pray, Lord, that you would continue to lead our leaders in this community, Lord, and the mayor and the city council and all the business folks, and that you would guide them, Lord, and that this would continue to be a community that is growing and expanding, and that Jesus' name would be spread. And I pray all that in his name. Amen.
Amen. Amen. Thank you, Pastor Woodcox. Next, I would like to invite Vice Mayor of City of Buckeye, Michelle Hayes, to lead us in recognizing this great country and the nation's flag with the Pledge of Allegiance.
Will you guys stand as we say the pledge together? I pledge allegiance to the flag
of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Thank you. You may be seated.
That just sounds good, doesn't it? Just sounds good. All right, so Palo Verde, APS, and Buckeye are linked, and we're linked a lot of ways, and just some of the ways that we're linked, and the fact that we've been a long-time partners is over 25% of the Palo Verde employees live in Buckeye. And my wife, Claudia, and I live here in Buckeye. Our chief nuclear officer, most of our executives live in the Buckeye community. We support initiatives that the mayor and Buckeye support, whether it's the great facility right here by us, Meck, which is just a tremendous boom for this community. And I'm just so proud to be part of Meck, part of Buckeye, and that is going to make a difference in those junior and seniors in high school and make a difference for their future and for our future. Also, the White Tank Mountain Conservancy, which I get to, I say I work with Mayor Meck on it, but I can't keep up with him. It's interesting. Palo Verde, we produce energy, but I think the most energy this podium sees is once a year when Mayor Meck gets his opportunity to speak to this group. So, the mayor's vision of growth of Buckeye is supported by APS and Palo Verde. We provide that clean, reliable power. And to quote the mayor, Buckeye is open for business. I don't know if any of you ever heard that, but we want to be a part of that. And we don't want to be somebody tagging along. We want to be somebody part of it and helping and pushing and moving this great city forward. Because moving this city forward also moves Maricopa County and the state of Arizona forward. Palo Verde and APS support local charities. We focus on our youth, and for us, we donate about $1 million a year from our employees, and then APS puts in some matching funds on that, so we feel good about being part of the community. And we're both committed to providing for the future. And for Palo Verde, we provide 80% of the clean energy used in this state. And for the city of Buckeye, and how you guys are out protecting things like the White Tank Mountains. Just invaluable that the leadership is stepping forward and making sure that we're protecting things for our future and for the future generations. Both of us are focused on long-term growth. Palo Verde, we've renewed our license out through 2047, and we are working on renewing it out through 2067. So we can be providing clean power and good jobs for this community. Palo Verde, in our study, we generate about $1.8 billion annually to the economy of Arizona, and that's by buying locally, having salaries, people living in the community. And so between us and Luke Air Force Base are just two good generators of income for the communities. So I want to move on to Mayor Meck. I can't imagine. I mean, Mayor Meck is a native, born downtown Buckeye, grew up downtown. I can't imagine the energy he had as a kid. I mean, that just had to be fun to try to keep up with. I can't imagine being his mother, and I can imagine, his dad coming in. Where's Jackie? Who knows? He was here 5 minutes ago, and I have no earthly idea where he is now. And he's just provided great input to the city for his life, so re-elected to a second term in 2012. And I know most of you know it, but he served with several governmental agencies and organizations, including the Maricopa Association of Governments, the Greater Phoenix Economic Council, the Valley Metro, Interstate 11 Coalition, White Tank Conservancy Board, Gila River El Rio Restoration. One that I've heard him talk about with great passion is the All Faith Community Services and the West Valley Hospital. So Jackie and his wife of 53 years, that's incredible. Verlene have 3 grown children and 4 grandchildren. And at this time, I'm going to turn the podium over to just a dynamic leader for Buckeye, for the West Valley, and somebody that helps make APS a better company. So with that, Jackie Meck.
Thank you. Thank you very much. Appreciate it. You bet. Well, if you believe all that, I'll sell you a bridge and throw the water in free. In case you don't know what the bridge is, it's the San Francisco Bridge. I'll sell it to you and throw the water in free. Palo Verde Nuclear has done this today for us. This is wonderful. They do everything. So Palo Verde, Bob Beeman, all of you with us. Yesterday we had about 7 of the Palo Verde people here. They are excellent. They're great to work with, and they're doing this today. Thank you, Palo Verde. And I have to say, too, that Salt River Project owns part of this, so thank you, Salt River Project. Wherever you are, Patricia Ross, I just said Salt River, so I don't confuse the two for her. Today we have with us, I want to name my council first, Vice Mayor Michelle Hess, Councilman Eric Osborne, Councilmember Craig Eustis, Councilmember Brian McEachran, Councilmember Ray Strauss, Councilmember Robert Garza. Thank you all for coming. Appreciate that. We have the mayors. These are my partners, and the mayors in the West Valley. This is the closest togetherness that I have ever seen since I've been in Buckeye. So in all of the activities that I've had with the West Valley, Avondale Mayor Ken Weiss, El Mirage Mayor Lana Mook, Lana, Peoria Mayor Kathy Carlott, and Mayor Georgia Lord. Dr. Christy Sandvik, Buckeye Elementary School Superintendent. Where are you? Okay. We have from Congressman Gosar's office, Penny Pugh. Where's Penny? From Congressman Grijalva's office, Jennifer Papworth. Jennifer, where are you? Wherever. Okay, this is great. Thank you all for coming. What I say is welcome to Buckeye. This is my home, and I'm glad you're here. And I hope what you take away today is what Buckeye has become. It's good, it's big, and it's dynamic. So I want you all to have the same feeling as I have. Seemed that years ago, all everyone knew about Buckeye was that it was a western gateway to the Valley of the Sun. That's what they used to say when I was growing up. Buckeye was known for agriculture, for dove hunting, and gas stations. And that was it. There were 1,200 people in Buckeye when I was born. As I grew up, it became 3,000 to 5,000. I think everybody lied because they must have counted dogs and chickens and cats, because there was not that many people, at least that you could see. Buckeye today has evolved into an exciting community filled with thriving neighborhoods and a positive business attitude. This morning, I hope to show you how, through a number of accomplishments, this great city of Buckeye celebrating its successes. When we asked residents what they liked most about living in Buckeye, they said they felt like they were home. They felt like they were part of a community, and most importantly, they wanted to be part of something big. Hearing those positive comments was like a spring breeze blowing through a window to me. So refreshing, the city of Buckeye can now offer its residents something big to reach for and grasp hold of. But it wasn't always so easy, and it has not been easy. Just 8 years ago, it was much different. The city of Buckeye was at a crossroads. Its financial foundation was literally shaken to the core by a fierce economic downturn. Buckeye's future as a community was in serious question. Like many smaller communities in the valley, we were not prepared when the housing starts rapidly escalated and then suddenly dropped from hundreds of buildings, permits themselves per month, to mere handfuls. We wrestled first with hiring employees to meet the housing boom. Then, having to deal with the unfortunate job cuts that resulted after the bust. Folks, that was tough. A lot of the people that I knew growing up, the young people, were working for the city of Buckeye, and we had to lay off 200. That was tough. The other piece of that is those 200 that we laid off couldn't get a job someplace else. So that's tough. We've come back from that. But a determined city council and team of dedicated professional department directors convinced they could do more with less began to chart a new direction. And thanks to strategic partnership with other communities, our mayors that join us, In the West Valley, we join together to share ideas and develop, and to weather the financial crisis together. Today, I stand here confident and extremely proud to report we are recovering from that recession. Recently, our finance department proposed a financial transaction that resulted in saving the city taxpayers $2 million. That proactive bond sale to refund the balance of the loan we used to fund construction on City Hall in 2006 was well received by the bond agency. They rated the bond issue as if we were AAA. AAA. In fact, our rating was AA minus. But we were rated AAA. That's top. That means we were doing good. Yes, that move saved $2 million for the future, but the financial picture is brighter now. After all the gut-wrenching decisions made back then, we now have financial wellness. It has taken challenges faced both by our city councilmen, by our staff that took pay cuts and stuck with us, by our taxpayers who approved bonds for infrastructure, by our business leaders who stayed in the community and continue to employ our workers, and the developers who are building houses once again. As Amelia Earhart once said, I quote, "The most difficult thing is the decision to act. The rest is mere tenacity." I'm proud to tell you that our housing permits soared last year, totaling over 1,100 new homes, and so far this year we have already issued 314 permits, the highest combined number of home permits for the first 3 months of any year since 2008. As you have seen, and as my friends who lead other West Valley cities know well, you don't come out of a recession overnight. It takes a lot of patience and a lot of cohesive teamwork. As a sign on an area fitness center on the wall kind of explains how we felt about the challenge. The sign says, you have a choice. You can throw in the towel, or you can use it to wipe the sweat off of your face. I'll share one project that reflects that foresight and tenacity. Less than a mile off Interstate 10, a 65,000 square foot facility known as Sundance Crossing was a product of the recession, left empty and abandoned, with no project potential in sight. Taking a reasonable risk, the city was able to purchase the building at a very reasonable price. And now, just a couple years later, Sundance Crossing has evolved into a new fire administration building, a new police administration building, a new police substation, the future home of our city court, and a place to generate break-even revenue by housing several retail businesses. A place to generate break-even revenue by housing several retail businesses. In addition, Sundance Crossing, which is also the new home of our Coyote Branch Public Library, is an excellent example of a forward-thinking program by a government agency to create revenue streams, prepare for future growth, and offer new programs to residences and businesses.
Read stories, we sing songs, and then they even sing them at home. So they'll remember them, and then they'll start singing them, and we'll just go along.
My name's Wendy McLeod. I'm with Dragonfly Designs Chocolates. Probably the confidence of knowing what I'm doing and knowing that there's programs out there and facilities that want to help businesses like me to grow and develop and to help, Buckeye grow.
He helped me to grab more, to believe more in me. So nobody have to afraid. It's something what we have to do for ourselves and for learn more about our country, because if you are here, it's because you feel from this country.
Those were real people. We help real people. They're not actors. They weren't talked to before about what to say, what not to say. That's what we do at the public library. It's wonderful that we have that available. Sundance Crossing, many projects here in Buckeye could not be successful without the outstanding work from departments that are not always visible to our community. We have a culture in Buckeye called the 5 C's: cohesive teams, communication, customer care, continuous improvement, and celebration. It was all hands on deck for the Sundance Crossing project, from information technology to public works, from community services to public safety, from planning and development to construction and contracting. I want to take this opportunity to congratulate you, our staff, for your dedication to the vision for our city today and in the future. Leonardo da Vinci once said, "Water is the driving force of all nature." 3 things in Buckeye's recent past indicate our proactive efforts to ensure we have enough of life's greatest necessity. I already mentioned the voters' backing of the infrastructure bonding. In early 2014, Buckeye was one of only 9 area municipalities to receive an additional 2,800 acre-feet of annual water allocations from the state's Central Arizona Project Agency, dramatically bolstering the 300 acre-feet of water we had been previously allocated. We are now developing a long-term strategy for that additional allocation. And this past summer, Buckeye purchased the global water assets in the city, providing water to more than 7,000 customers while enhancing the city's high water quality standards. This acquisition is another great example of exceptional government planning. That private water system was in the heart of our city and at times created roadblocks in developing the area for homes and businesses. By owning the critical infrastructure, we were able to assess what infrastructure we needed to most efficiently grow Buckeye. We have spent the past 9 months assessing the former global water customers' concerns about water quality and pressure issues. And we are working on a water master plan to address our future growth. While we continue working to provide the highest quality drinking water, we also realize that all water is critical, a precious resource we must preserve and conserve for generations to come. Unfortunately, the Gila River in Buckeye is being invaded by a noxious weed from Russia called the salt cedar. It was introduced to stabilize riverbanks, but over time it has quickly adapted to the region and acts as a dam to flood the waterway, eroding farmland and residents to the north. The hazard this invasion is creating are numerous. Not only do these individual trees absorb some 300 gallons a day. Each tree absorbs 300 gallons a day, but they are extremely flammable and have been a cause of major fires in the Buckeye Riverbed. Thanks again to our partnership with area governmental bodies, we are working to address these major concerns. The City of Buckeye, along with Maricopa County, Avondale, and Goodyear, have been extremely proactive in the effort to eradicate the salt cedars. And over the last year, elected officials from all over the state, including both U.S. senators and congressmen, have toured the area and made this project a priority.
This is a very rapid growing weed.
We're looking at juvenile salt cedars, perfectly adapted to live out here. As you can see, the salt, they're very salt tolerant. They tend to leave their seeds all year long, and then they grow into this in a matter of 3 to 5 years. They form incredibly dense stands, as you can see behind us, and that causes extreme troubles with respect to flooding.
Salt cedars are kind of unique because after they burn, they come back stronger. It tends to fertilize itself, and as they come back much, much stronger and much denser. I believe we have 1 to 2 fires a year since I've been here. And most of those run, a small fire is 40 acres, a large one can be several hundred.
Yeah, I've seen these trees on fire. The fire itself, you can be a quarter mile away with the heat. When we have a fire, they're put out, and that fire costs $250,000 minimum. And we have to bring in planes to fly retardant over the top of the fire because we can't get people in the river bottom. It's too thick.
Once the fires get going, we end up positioning our crews on the outside of the fire area because with the updrafts and the brands or embers that are coming off the fire, we get spot fires a quarter mile to a half mile away sometimes. And so now we're getting fires into the agricultural areas, the dairy areas, and we actually have some residential areas that can be impacted by that. What's happened now is we don't know where the water is going to go. This vegetation is so dense, immediately it's going to start coming outside the channel areas, and we're going to have additional flooding issues that we would not normally have if this channel was free of the salt cedar.
We're looking at 4,000 or 5,000 acres plus of being flooded. We have 200 homes that will be flooded. In addition to our effluent plant in the city of Buckeye, we put 20,000 homes of sewage in this effluent plant that's just above here. If that plant goes out, we're going to have to put that sewage in the river bottom, and that would be a catastrophe that we'd have to face with in the future. But that's the only way to kill them is get the roots out, and that's what we're going after today.
So that does make it necessary to remove the roots if you're going to have an effective treatment and management program. But that's not where it stops. Because these trees produce seeds 9-10 months out of the year, there's always an active seed bank, and it just takes a little bit of moisture to get those guys going. So that means we have to come back every year for 2 to 3 years with herbicide treatments or manually pulling the little salt cedar starts to keep them from coming back. This is one of the most unique environments in the entire Southwest. It is an environmental jewel. It's being threatened and damaged as we speak today by the encroachment of salt cedar.
We're doing our best right now with the resources we have. We've got to have some support. This is much bigger than Buckeye can handle on its own.
I think Palo Verde put something on here like grease because my book keeps sliding down like it's going to fall off. It's alive. We're alive today. Hopefully in the future we will see their removal and the great Gila River restored. The famed naturalist John Muir once said, when one tugs at a single thing in nature, he finds it attached to the rest of the world. Restoration, preservation, conservation. These are all ongoing themes you should take away with you today when you think about Buckeye. One of the biggest projects to date that exemplifies those themes is our 8,000-acre Skyline Regional Park. This is a prime example of the positive things that can happen when local, state, and federal agencies work together. This spectacular park reflects our intention to ensure the natural resources in the city of Buckeye not only are preserved as they should be, but are being enhanced for future generations to enjoy. Staff have been planning and working on this park for over a decade. 10 years this has been in the planning. That's how long it has taken to get it where it is today. With the end result, creating a regional asset that is bringing hundreds of visitors a day to the park. One of the major attractions in the park is a protected area where the stars and planets are illuminated in the nighttime skies, greatly enhancing the use of binoculars and telescopes to view the awesome terrestrial show. How many of you been to the park? All right. Beautiful, isn't it? Those that haven't been, you're missing something. You must go. You must go. Skyline Regional Park and its total of 17 miles by this fall are an important piece of our future, but is also part of a larger, more regional plan to preserve the entire White Tank Mountain Range. The entire mountain range goes from I-10 to Bell Road, 30 miles. That's what we're after. We view the White Tank Mountain Conservancy as a way to develop programs of advocacy, education, and research. Our hope is to eventually link trail systems throughout the West Valley to create one of the largest recreational amenities in the state. When we say create, we're talking about the White Tanks going to Peoria, Surprise, Goodyear, Avondale, and also possibly Wickenburg. We're talking to all of the mayors in order to become a part of this great park that we've envisioned. You all remember the famous movie quote, "If you build it, they will come." And folks, they're coming, and we love it. Our intention to make Buckeye a destination, that's right, a place where visitors can come to enjoy the high-quality recreational amenities and the events that we offer. You've seen the beauty and the draw that Skyline Park will have on visitors, but I must also mention some great events that have already attracted thousands of visitors to Buckeye. In its first 2 years, the Buckeye Marathon, which is a qualifier for the famed Boston Marathon, attracted hundreds of participants from Arizona and 26 other states. The annual Buckeye Air Fair is attended by 10,000 people who have enjoyed seeing vintage aircraft on display, visiting the Arizona Science Tech Festival, and learning how to fly or, yes, to skydive if you want to try something new. We have that also. In the near future, you must see the Buckeye Valley Museum, one of the only museums of its kind in the West Valley. Over the next year, we're looking to expand events and opportunities to bring visitors into our wonderful community. We are excited to unveil our new tourism campaign, You Are the First to See, here today. Check it off your bucket list. We've adopted a tourism tax to fund building those recreational assets and planning additional community events. It's already working. In February, the Holiday Inn and Suites opened, and within the first week, it was packed. You couldn't get a room. The first week, and it stayed that way through the what I would call kind of the season. In February, it opened, and the hotel was at capacity. While visitors are very important to Buckeye, our prime focus is attracting new businesses and new jobs to the city. That, too, seems to be working. This past year, a special census showed a population increase over the past 5 years. Raising Buckeye's population to 62 100,000 people. And just for your information, when Buckeye grows up, the 600 square miles that we are, when we grow up, there will be 1.5 to 1.8 million people in the city of Buckeye. That's the future. What we tell the councils that today and our staff, we are the artists. We have a huge canvas that we're painting. We're either going to be 50 years from now, Michelangelo's or duds. So what we do today is what people are going to see 50 years to 100 years from now. This increase in population means additional state-shared revenues, monies that will be used to pay for the expanded public safety and community programs and services we've been covering during that time. Getting over the 60,000 mark also makes us more attractive to more possible business locations here and especially jobs for our residents. So far, that seems to be working. I mentioned the new Holiday Inn, and we have added several new restaurants and additional housing developments. An old friend, Jones Ford of Buckeye, that have been here for years, relocated into our city limits with this beautiful facility along I-10, an area that we hope develops into an autoplex in the future. The special census proved our point. Buckeye's growth is not slowing down. Experts say by the year 2040, Buckeye will be home to more than 300,000 people. 300,000 people. Those kinds of numbers mean planning today is imperative. Obviously, it's imperative today, and that's what we're about. The late baseball great Yogi Berra knew the importance of planning ahead, and listen to what he said about planning ahead. If you don't know where you're going, he said, you are certain to end up somewhere else. If you don't know where you're going, you are certain to end somewhere else. Seriously, we understand we're planning now for infrastructure, roads, water sewer systems, and of course services, jobs, and amenities. And we know how important it is to include higher education in that mixture for a future workforce. Right next door is the next state-of-the-art West Meck facility, now open to students. This education center has teamed up with Palo Verde Nuclear, Estrella Mountain Community College to ensure the utility can plan for future trained workers. And right in our downtown, we have two other educational groups, Estrella Mountain Community College and Grand Canyon University, offering classes to our students. As the Chinese proverb says, if you're planning for 1 year, grow rice. If you're planning for 20 years, grow trees. If you're planning for centuries, grow men and women. Grow men and women. City Manager's Office is currently preparing a strategic visit plan that will streamline the short-term city's goals to ensure we reach long-term goals established by the public in the city's general plan adopted several years ago. We'll be asking for your help in the future as we gear up for the general plan update that must be approved by the voters. Be assured that you and all residents will have ample input in the process. We will have surveys, community meetings, and communications throughout the entire process to build Buckeye with our residents, businesses, and visitors in mind. I encourage you to sign up for the monthly newsletter, join our social media pages, or visit our website often and check on news section to stay up to date with all the opportunities to get involved in this community project. Former California governor, current video game promoter Arnold Schwarzenegger knew the importance of public safety, saying that government's first duty and highest obligation is public safety. As we grow, maintaining a professional public safety presence remains a top priority, and it is showing. The Buckeye Police Department has reported a 3% drop in crime and now has the lowest crime rate among Valley municipalities with populations over 50,000. It has helped Buckeye to be recognized as one of the safest cities in Arizona. Our police chief, Larry Hall, who has been appointed by Governor Ducey to the State Police Board, attributes the department's success to its 21st century policing programs, including the use of body cameras, crime prevention, and community outreach programs. And within the next few months, the department will be among the only 1% of departments in the nation to earn a professional policing accreditation from a national police organization. Buckeye Fire Medical Rescue is also on the national stage with its pilot community paramedical program. The program provides for paramedics to make house calls designed to reduce hospital readmission, the rates, while helping discharge patients stay on the road to good health. Since last May, the program has over 169 patient referrals from Banner Estrella Medical Center. They have realized a significant reduction in all-cause hospital readmission rates. This program is being viewed as a possible new standard and has been featured on national public radio. It is also being used as a training module for Medicare and Medicaid. Here is a video produced and distributed by Medicare.
It wasn't that many years ago that Buckeye was a community of 5,000, and today we're 60,000. So 55,000 of those people came from somewhere else. And unfortunately, many times they've left their support systems where they came from. And so when you do that, now you're in a strange place with strange people and you don't have that support system. Our program begins with a referral from the hospital. The discharge staff makes the determination on who we're going to deal with. It's a voluntary program by the individual once they agree to do it. That information's forwarded, we then process them into the system, and then we go visit them.
It's basically hospital trying to reduce hospital readmissions is really what the goal is. But the primary objective is really to help we saw a gap in our community, people that weren't being serviced or helped.
Once we're out there, we start with the safety review of their house. We want to make sure the environment's safe for them. After that, we look at what we were called for. And we start off a lot of times with, did you understand your discharge instructions? Have you got your medications? Do you understand that you have to go see a doctor? Have you made that appointment? And then after that, it's a follow-up process. And that could be anything from vital signs to weighing the patient, checking blood pressures, checking blood glucose, encouraging them to lose some weight, encouraging whatever it is based on the reason that we were there for them.
I think it's a lot cheaper to send out a couple paramedics to somebody's house who just needs a check-in and a conduit to the doctor, as opposed to sending a full-on fire apparatus, sirens blaring, out to see somebody. It seems like it's a much better approach to catch them in a calm, stable environment before the emergency happens and before we're having to haul people back to a hospital in an ambulance.
Well, I went over to Fry's family clinic because I thought I was suffering from some kind of flu. Mark is the doctor over there. He says, you need to go to the hospital. They didn't realize they had pneumonia yet, but they knew something was wrong because I wasn't breathing right, you know. Well, a few days later, you know, they said, would you like some help at home? And so I got all kinds of help. They're very friendly and they don't scare you at all. I have AFib. My heart doctor had done several other tests and never was picked up, even the mighty CAT scan. And so I was, you know, thinking, geez. that little tiny camera that the fireman used picked it up on one of these little pictures here. It saved my life.
We're here to support the person in whatever way we can do it. And again, the goal is to take a bad day for them and make it the best we possibly can.
Well, we've gotten a lot of positive feedback on it. It's something that's really impacted the community really well. I mean, it's done really well, and people are really happy about it.
I'm very, very blessed. I have a wonderful council, great managers, great mayor, and they support me in allowing me to do some of these things.
We are so thankful for the men and women that are in our fire department, the staff that supports them, and for the chief for ideas like this. The healthier the community, the better off the City of Buckeye is.
You know, realizing that there are a lot of people in the fire department, but I'm going to point out one guy that's sitting in here that started all this, and he's the chief, and I understand there's lots of firemen. Bob Costello, stand up. That, sir, is not in my script. That's from the heart. Thank you. As you can see, Buckeye Fire Medical Rescue is no longer just for fighting fires and emergency transporting to the hospital. They've seen the big picture and the importance of quality health care to some of our most susceptible residents. I'd like to add that Buckeye Fire Chief Bob Costello, who with Banner Estrella Medical Center physician Dr. Todd Cleaver developed the pilot program, was recently himself appointed by Governor Ducey to the Arizona State Emergency Medical Services Council. Congratulations. An American chief executive officer once quipped, "Treat employees like they make a difference, and they will." Buckeye is brimming with incredibly talented and professional staff. I'd like to celebrate some other honors our departments have recently received. The Community Services Department was recently accredited to the National Recreation Parks Association, one of only 7 cities in Arizona to earn the distinction. Buckeye's Fleet Management Division was the 20th municipal group to receive a prestigious national recognition and has been named one of the top 100 fleets, the Americas, for 7 years in a row. And in fact, for the record, they ranked number 9 out of that top 100. Pretty good for Buckeye. Vice Mayor Michelle Hess was named one of the last year's 40 under 40. Thanks to our Human Resources Department, Buckeye was named one of the healthiest employers in the state, and the HR department was recognized with the Best Practices Award for its team building, onboarding, training for new employees. Buckeye City Manager Stephen Cleveland was named by the Arizona Business Leaders magazine as a top city manager. And both our police and fire department were recipients of the Phoenix Business Journal's Healthcare Heroes. While awards are a great way to reflect our exceptional work of our staff, today I want to thank all of our staff for their outstanding work that is making the vision and dreams of Buckeye a reality, today and in the future. Transportation will be incredibly important to Buckeye's future as we work toward the construction of Interstate 11, part of the Kanamax Freeway, State Route 30. They will open major interstate commerce possibilities in our region. I'm pleased to say that we are now digitized. We have an enterprise system coming on board that will offer online permit submittal. There will also be changes and upgrades to paying bills online. You can get business license online. You can search for loved ones at our cemetery online. You can apply for jobs online, register for recreation classes, and you can even promote your business Buckeye business, or event right on our city website. Websites are helping draw business to Buckeye. Buckeye.com is a new addition for our economic development team. The website is interactive, giving potential businesses searchable data right at their fingertips. While we continue to move into this digital area, one thing we boast in Buckeye is that while we have grown, we have not lost our sense of community. I told you earlier what residents like most about living in Buckeye. They felt like they're being at home. They felt like they were part of a community, and most importantly, they wanted to be part of something big. And now you have seen where Buckeye is right now. I hope you ask yourself, how can you get involved in Arizona's biggest opportunity, the city of Buckeye? Buckeye offers a blank canvas that is truly one of the few remaining Arizona cities where opportunity can be seen in every direction and virtually every vantage point. Speaking of vantage points, as I stood on a peak of one of the trails in the Skyline Regional Park recently, my eyes glistened, and they're glistening now. As I look back, into my mind's eye, mind's rear view mirror at how Buckeye, this is because I'm a native, how far Buckeye has come. As I look over the spectacular view of the distant city of Phoenix, I am having trouble. Thank you, but that doesn't help a lot. As I looked out over the spectacular view of the distant city of Phoenix, the beautiful mountains surrounding Buckeye, it made me wonder where the future would take our great city. Ladies and gentlemen, I can't wait to wake up tomorrow morning and continue the exciting journey together. And I close with this: Buckeye is open for business. Thank you all for coming. Thank you all for coming. I love you all. Thank you, thank you, thank you.